One review. Book one is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years, and today I have my special guests. The skeptic metaphysicians and open minded explorers of metaphysics and spirituality. They are Mr. Will Rodriguez and Miss, well, Karen Endsley. Did I pronounce correct?
Very
Nicely
good.
done. Yeah.
So welcome on Book 101 review. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Okay. Karen, ladies
No,
first.
you go first.
Ladies
You
first.
go
Oh
first.
my gosh. Okay. I am um, a TV producer by trade. We created the podcast based on an existential crisis I had back in 2020. I needed to figure out what was going on around me, why it was happening, and so I we have these conversations with spiritual leaders that help us to understand the changes that we're going through or the crazy stuff that we're experiencing and try and make sense of it.
And I am also a TV producer by trade. And he kind of roped me into this podcasting thing, but it's been a lot of fun. When we go into the podcast, he always researches all of the guests and comes up with questions and is very prepared. And I don't usually even know who we're talking to until I sit down and hear the introduction. So that way
Quite
I kind of
funny.
have more of the audience viewpoint. So you get a couple different, you got the man and the woman, you've got the person who knows about it and the unknown person. You've got the skeptic and the believer. So we try to bring as many viewpoints into our little podcast as we can.
And the Beauty and the Beast,
Wait a minute.
Beauty and the Beast,
Oh, okay.
Beauty and the Beast.
And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. Thank you. So today, let's talk about the best ways to reach spiritual enlightenment.
Mm.
Spiritual enlightenment is a loaded term. What do
Mm.
you personally define it in a way that moves beyond vague notions that bliss or escape from suffering?
Mm.
Wow. That's a really big question.
It is.
I don't think we've ever been asked that before, have we?
Probably we must have at some
I
point.
don't know, maybe. Gosh. So how do we define it? Or I, I, I don't know. What do you think? Well,
To me, spiritual enlightenment is being in touch with the part of us that isn't caught up in all of the emotions that we are experiencing on a day-to-day basis. It's a way to um, experience our true essence. We go through life living in ego almost 24/7, and spiritual enlightenment is when you are able to put that ego aside and instead just live in the moment, be experience the now, as well as experience the true essence of who you are, which is, I believe, is just pure bliss and love.
see, now I think that we need to experience all the emotions. I was meditating the other day and
Mhm.
had this kind of download where, you talk about, well, if we're really these beings that know everything, have all the knowledge, have all the wisdom, then why do we need to come back for this experience? And what I got was that we are like a diamond. And every time we come back and we go through these experiences, it's like cutting off another facet. So that when we're finished here, we are even more brilliant and sparkling more when we go back to the whatever you want to call it.
Mm, yeah, absolutely.
Mhm. More brilliant. I would love that. So let's talk about the enlightenment spectrum. Is enlightenment a singular or multiple destination, or is it a better understood as a spectrum of deepening realizations and states of being? Can we be partially enlightened?
You say that way better than we did. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that
Thank you.
one of our biggest thought process or tenets, we do the Skeptic Metaphysicians podcast, but we also have a streaming platform called New Reality TV that brings a lot of these shows together. So those that are looking for this type of content can find it there. We build it specifically because there are so many different facets, there's so many different paths that someone can take.
Mhm.
A lot of folks believe that there's only one truth, and that might be true, but it might not. But regardless, each and every path is what we try to explore with New Reality TV. My thought process is, if no two fingerprints are the same, if no two snowflakes are the same, how can we possibly believe that the paths for each one of us individually are the same?
Or the destination.
Oh, including that, well, that's a deeper
Hmm.
conversation. I believe we create our own destination, but that's for another time, I guess.
That'll be awesome. We create our own destination or is already created for us? That's the big questions.
Mm.
The ego's role. A common narrative is that enlightenment requires a dissolution of the ego. Is it the goal to destroy the ego or transcend it? Or it form a completely a new relationship with it?
I think we're forming a new relationship with it because I think without the ego, we wouldn't really be able to fully, truly experience everything here. Because we could come back as an all-knowing being and just see everything and it would always be the same. But if you come back in a specific body, culture, religion, gender, etc., you're going to have a totally different experience and you're going to learn things differently that way.
Yep.
Mhm.
I like that. So I always think of the. I talk about it all the time on the show. I think of our brain as a filter. A lot of folks in the scientific community believe our consciousness comes from the brain. Now, there's been a lot of studies that have been conducted that are now pointing to the fact that consciousness lives elsewhere and is actually
Mhm.
projected into our brains. So I look at the brain as more of a filter so that it can we can live in this three-dimensional world without completely losing our minds. If we were to fully understand who we are, the grandeur of what we really are, I don't know that we could handle it in these 3D bodies. So the brain acts as a filter so that we can get a grip, and slowly, little by little, we allow that filter to fall away so that our ego can then walk beside us. I agree with Karen that we're here to experience all things, and so the ego is one of them that we have to
Mhm.
help to bring forward. A lot of people think ego is the enemy, but I don't believe that that's the case.
No, and I think about that. People have they struggle with their bodies, and I wish I was more fit, and I wish I was this, and but really, like I have through my life changed my relationship with my body, and it's almost more. I'm viewing it almost like this wonderful pet. I take
Mhm.
care like our puppies. We take care of them. We give them really
Mhm.
good food. We love them, and kind of all of our bodies really are here for what they want to do is to help us
Mm.
experience life. So how can we not be appreciative of that? And if we take care of them, they'll take care of us in return. I think. I mean, always,
Certainly.
things happen, but
Yeah.
that's the hope anyways.
Certainly be grateful. People be grateful across diverse traditions. What are the non negotiable core practices or mindset shift that's seen universally required, whether one is a Buddhist, Hindu, Christian, mystical, or secular path?
I think you just said it. Gratitude. I think gratitude is a universal thought process behind all of that. I don't know that one thing speaks to everyone. That
Hmm.
goes back to all the different paths. I think that each person, whether you're Buddhist or Catholic or pagan or whatever it is that you are, um, I do think that a lot of the religions that we were talking about, or a lot of the modalities that we are talking about, are all saying the same thing. They're just using different words to get there. Um, but I think one thing that they all have in common is gratitude and love.
I would say love.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that.
I
That's
would
why I
say,
said
yeah, I know.
first.
Love, because from that you get gratitude, from that you get respect, you get tolerance, you get patience. All of that stems from love. So for me, I think love is the overlying thing that every culture and religion has in common, even if they don't use that word for it.
So then at the end of the day, would you say that love is all you need?
All you need is love.
Ba, ba,
Love,
ba, ba.
love,
Uh,
love, love. Indeed. Some traditions emphasizes rigorous practice and discipline, while others speak of grace or sudden awakening. In your view, is enlightenment earned, given, or a mysterious interplay of both?
It's all of the above, I think.
Mm.
I mean, some people, if you want to say they're lucky, they have that car accident, and next thing you know, they're
They're
channeling and
enlightened.
they're having all of these
They're
experiences.
lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So they're lucky. Other people work really hard at it. Some people are born. I think it's just all of the above.
I'll give you a perfect example. I I approach the topic from a mindset of I want all the toys, I want all the tools, I want to astral project and lucid dream and remember my past lives and heal people. I want all the toys and all that kind of stuff. And I worked really hard to be enlightened. I did all the meditations and I took all the courses and I went to the retreats and all that kind of stuff, only to find that no matter how hard I was trying, I wasn't getting anywhere. Right? It would get really surface level. I've never been able to astral project. I am a Reiki practitioner, but it's I haven't used it in a very long time. And it wasn't until I stopped and looked within that I realized that I was looking in all the wrong places. I was looking outside for enlightenment when in essence all I need to do is look inside. And I'm not saying I'm enlightened. I'm very far away from being enlightened or claiming anything of the sort. But now I see the path forward. Whereas before I was lost in a sea of trying, of toys, of things that really have nothing to do with enlightenment. For others, they find their enlightenment through those types of things, but not me.
So, how essential is living guide or a teacher? Can authentic enlightenment be reached through a solid practice with books and videos, or is it transmission from realizing a being irreplaceable?
That's a great question.
I think it's very, very individual. We all have our different experiences and path here in the 3D that we're all going through. I think some people are so fortunate to meet these incredible teachers that can help teach them and guide them on their way. But I think a lot of it is really, if you do look within, you can get there. It might not be as you might not realize it, because I think we're also taught here to constantly be looking and to not notice things. Like, you might see coincidences, we might think those are little miracles. So a lot of it is your perspective and how you do things. But I do think it can be inside for everybody. It's just,
Yeah,
more subtle.
I don't disagree with you, but I do think that a guru or a teacher of some sort is good to start you on a
Yeah.
path. When I was questioning, and this was a long time ago when I was in my 20s, I was like a scattershot. Like I would try this and try that, and try that and try that, but it was nothing was falling into place for me until I found someone who actually sat me down and showed me, okay, here's the first step. Here's how you need to approach this so that you're not just everywhere. Focus on this first and then slowly work your way to wherever the path is going to take you. So I think a teacher is helpful to start you on your path. Eventually, like the whole cliche about the student um, surpasses the teacher, I feel that that's a real thing. I think after a while, once we know what the path is, I don't know that we need a teacher anymore. I think we need to look within and find our teacher inside ourselves. But I do feel sometimes having at least a mentor or someone that you can bounce ideas off of, things like that, I think it's always very helpful.
Always right. So let's talk about the body intelligence. Many Western seekers focus on the mind. How crucial are somatic practices like yoga, qigong, or mindful movement and attention to the physical body as a direct gateway to spiritual awakening?
Again, I'm going to say I feel like it's different for everyone because people are going to have different things, different practices that resonate for them. For me, one of the things that's very impactful, and I don't haven't done it in a while, but breath work.
Mm.
That is something that for me just opened up the floodgates. But but you haven't had that experience.
Mm-mm.
So I think it can be just as important as having that teacher or reading those books. And there's so many different ways, so many different paths to achieve the enlightenment. I think
Yeah.
it's really hard to say that there's a standard for everyone.
Yeah. Well, what we found, we've been doing the show for some odd years, and what we found is a that the more we know, the more we know nothing. But
Mm.
what we're finding is that there's lots of intelligences in us. There's many bodies, many minds in us. Our body has its own mind. Our
Mm-hmm.
heart has its own mind. Our stomach, our gut has its own mind. So it's a matter of harmonizing all of it in order to become enlightened, as you're saying. I do feel that there's when you talk about kundalini, right? This energy flow that goes up your spine when the kundalini is awakened, is a massive awakening process for some people, and that's purely um, physical. That's purely your body contorts, and it becomes a physical sensation once the energy coils up your spine. um, I also do believe that acts like yoga are help to move the chi in your body. So I do feel that somatic principles are very important to a lot of folks. It depends on. So I used to do a lot of acting back in the day, and my teachers would always tell me that I need to find my way to find the character. And some folks, some actors, embodied the character physically before they could embody the character mentally, vocally, and all that kind of stuff. And other people found the voice first and then embodied the character that way. I think it's kind of similar to that, where some people are going to really uh, resonate, respond to the somatic practices in order to jumpstart their awakening, while others are much more suited to work on their mental practices in order to then move into a somatic phase for their awakening. So it really, to Karen's point, and the thumbnail or thumbprint idea, it really depends on what works for that particular person. The important thing is that you experiment and you find your own path.
Mm-hmm.
Very well said. Very well said, both of you. So, enlightenment in the mundane. How does realization of enlightenment express itself in the most ordinary moments? Doing the dishes, commuting, or having a difficult conversation?
For me, it happens in an instant. It happens when, and all of the things that you just said, when all of a sudden I'm pouring a glass of water um, into a pit or from a pitcher, and all of a sudden I'm noticing how absolutely crystal clear that water is that's going into the glass, and I get lost in that clarity, in that precise exact moment. And then I put the pitcher down and I drink and I feel the water going down my throat, and I taste the water, the freshness, the coldness of it, and how it goes into being in the present moment. To me, sometimes it's all the times it's very difficult for me to be in the present moment. I'm so scattered. I have mental gymnastics going on all the time, but every once in a while something will click and I'll be in the present moment, and that's the moment I realize I'm connected to everything, and that I live for those times.
That was lovely.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Mine is more like, for me, it's more like what I said earlier about noticing the things that a lot of people will call coincidences and
Mm,
realizing that they're messages directly from the universe, or little like, hello, we're here, little tiny miracles. Even, for example, just the other day, I came into the office to get a paperclip because I needed a paperclip for something. So I grabbed the paperclip and I'm using it, and like I had walked through the house and I'm going upstairs and I'm trying to get this paperclip on, and it just bends and breaks. And I'm like, oh man. And I look down, and at my feet on the stairs, another perfect paperclip. I don't usually grab paper clips around the house. I had only grabbed one, and I think I would have noticed the one being on the stairs, but I saw that paperclip. Actually, I saw it right before the one that I had in my hand broke. I was like, "Oh, what's that doing? I need another one." And there it was. So it's these little things that are like, "Hey, you need this." It's the universe is here for you, I believe. Whatever you want to call it, if you want to call it God or consciousness or spirit, whatever, it's here for us. And sometimes it gives us little reminders, even when we don't realize we're going to need them.
And sometimes they're 2x4 to the head.
Sometimes it's 2 by 4
Ah,
to the
yes,
head.
certainly. So, as a podcast host, what are your short-term and long-term goals?
Well, currently, I think our long-time goal is we have started a new platform called New Reality TV, and with our podcast, we realized we one day happened upon reviews that we didn't even know we had any reviews. We were googling it, and there were a lot of reviews, and people had taken time to write like paragraphs about our show. And one person that the one that stuck with us was the last thing this guy wrote was, "Thank you for helping me to feel normal." And we thought if our show is helping one or maybe, a handful of people on their journey, what if we got a bunch of shows together? And so that's what
Mm-hmm.
we've done. So we've created newrealitytv.com, and that's what it is. It's a platform for people who are looking for answers or for questions, exploring. It's a discovery place where you can see, about 45 different shows of people all over the world that are creating this beautiful content. We've got shaman, we've got channelers, we've got astrologers, you name it. People trying to help other people find their path and get these messages out there. So I think right now that, at least for me, I can't speak for you, but that's my kind of goal right now as a podcast host, is to really help amplify these messages that are so needed out into the universe.
Definitely. And then the short term goal is to have as many people as possible listen to the show, because it is a labor of love for us. We have these conversations with people that are way, way, way smarter than us in these spaces, that have taught us all the answers we gave you came from them. They're not from us. They're from way smarter people. But a lot of these shows in this niche, this genre, can be very dry, can be very informational, and sometimes it's really great, but sometimes it's can be a little much. So we try to provide these messages with a little bit of a smile. If you haven't noticed, our little our personalities are outgoing. We love to laugh. We love to smile. We take the topic seriously, but not ourselves seriously. So we'll have some banters. It's like we're hanging out with someone that's really way smarter than us about these things, and teaching us and showing us different facets of metaphysics and spiritual awakenings that we all want to hear about and learn about.
Well, we want to entertain
For sure.
also. We
Yeah.
want to
Mm,
entertain
yes,
because people learn more when they're being entertained. So
definitely.
if they're laughing along, they're gonna remember that what they were laughing about, and maybe it'll help them.
Right. And then
Mm,
we also try to be as authentic as possible, as vulnerable as possible. Sometimes we share stories that are really close to the bone, because we feel if we share these things with our listeners, um, they will a lot of times will resonate. They will be going through the same thing, or they'll understand. It will help them go through something, no, or it will help them feel that they're not alone, and that's really important. So it's a lot of fun, and we would invite everyone to come listen, because we do have a lot of fun.
fun, 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 indeed. And good luck to your goals, and looking forward for more success. And
Thank
can
you.
you
Thank you.
please recommend a book or books that influence you, Johnny?
Yes.
One of my absolute favorite books is Illusion by Richard Bach. It's a short read. You can read it in a day or two. And I almost can't even tell you what it's about because it's so short, it'll give it away. But it's about a pilot who meets another pilot and
Hmm.
a spiritual journey and the lessons that he learns. But you can read it in a day or two. It's just incredible. I've read it probably 5 or 6 times during my life. I've mailed it off across the world to people who've mailed it back for me after they've read it. It's just a really great book.
Yeah. I'll try to go really fast. I have three that I have to talk
Yeah.
to you about, because they're so very different, but they're all really influential in my spiritual growth. The very first book I'm going to recommend is Conversations with God. The very first one. It
Hmm.
is a lot of people. stay away from it because it's got the word God in it. That was me, but it's not at all what people expect. In fact, it's not a religious book at all. People who are very religious might not be happy about that book because the premise is the writer was really angry because life was going in really funky places, and he just wrote down in anger, God, why is the world like this? And to his
Mm-hmm.
surprise, he continued writing what the answer was, and what he wrote was, do you really want to know? And so it turned out to be this conversation with an entity that said was God about how the universe works. And it was unbelievable. It completely changed everything for me. The second book is The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. That really led me on the path of where I am now, which is just trust. Trust the universe is going to take me where I need to go, without having to set expectations and control the outcomes, knowing that the universe has my best interest in mind. And the very last book, it's a new one, a short one. It's actually called The Monk and the Butterfly: Stories of Zen and the Art of Change. And it's short little Zen Buddhist stories that a page or two, each one of them, and they really speak about stillness and the power about going inside. And that's really a book that I'm really, truly, absolutely loving right now. So those are three that I would recommend.
Yes, thank you for the recommended book. So before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in sixth season, abstract poetry in a third season, and of course my book 101 review in sixth season as well. Comedy 101 in third season, and my food 101 in sixth season. Two, geography 101, love letters, movie 101 review, music 101, fifth season, Science 101, Sex 101. In fourth season, Trivia 101, Law 101, Mental Health 101, Motivation 101, Entrepreneurship 101, and of course, my Bible Verses 101 are my baby podcasts. So please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So lastly, what will be your piece of advice for those people that don't want to podcast hosts like us?
Who first? You're a busy man. Holy smokes.
Wow, that's a lot. Holy cow.
Indeed, I am.
My recommendation would be, if you have a story inside you, if you feel called to get behind that microphone, um, do it. Don't hesitate. Do it. The only way that you're going to start is by starting. So many people are afraid to take that step. They want to make sure it's perfect before they launch. You're never going to be perfect. You just start and do it.
Do it now, people. Do it now. Stop procrastinating. If you have the passion to talk and talk and talk, please do so. So, thank you so much for both of you. And can you please invite our listeners to support your podcast, your advocacy, or your business that you want to promote?
Absolutely. The best place to go is skepticmetaphysicians.com. Skeptic Metaphysician, singular, skepticmetaphysician.com. You can subscribe to the show, connect with us, all that kind of stuff there. Or if you prefer, newrealitytv.com is the overall platform for all of the other shows that we have curated as well.
Definitely. So I have one more question. If you could only offer only one piece of advice, one practice, one attitude, one warning to someone sincerely asking for the best way to reach spiritual enlightenment, what would it be?
I would say try to look at everything through the filter of love.
Mm, love, love, love.
That's all you need.
Yes, to both of you, thank you so much for being my guest on Book 101 Review. Looking forward for third, fourth, fifth episodes. I have a lot of podcasts and I want to, well, invite you to be my guest, all of them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. It's been a pleasure.
Yes. More to come, people. See you soon.